Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today is September 4th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I just want to share with everyone something this morning. I saw a demonstration maybe about a month ago in reference to our dark side and the power of prayer. If you continuously pray over and over and over again, things will eventually become clear. Although a lot of times when we pray to God, we don't get answers right away. But if you continuously pray over and over, things become clear. So the demonstration involves this bottle, and if you see, the inside of this bottle is all dark liquid. That represents our dark side. And this cap represents our limitations. So we as a human, which is the bottle, have limitations, which is this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle into the sink and we're going to do a demonstration. So let me put that there. I'm going to turn the camera around so that everybody can see it. And hopefully you folks can all see it now. Okay, so you see the bottle. I'm going to turn the water on. Okay, so now everything inside is dark, which represents our body and our inside. And what I'm going to do, and this clear water represents our prayer. So you see the continuous water running. I'm going to now, as the prayer, as we're praying, I'm going to lift our limitations, which is the cap. And we're going to slowly add our prayer to this. We all go through dark times. I mean, I've had some dark years. I just didn't understand everything that was happening. I'm going to admit it that I'm not a super patient person. I tend to want answers right away and know what's happening and what I can do to solve it. I don't like not being happy and confident about things. It's just not who I am. But when I get down, it takes a lot for me to get back up. If we pray for a sign, which is this, the water is prayer, but just give up because we feel like God's already heard our prayer and He knows what we need, but He hasn't answered. It's kind of like when we were kids in the toy store and we kept asking our mom and dad for toys, but we never got any results. Yeah, it never worked for me either, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that is exactly what's happened to me in the past years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed, but haven't really gotten any results. The answer I thought God would give me, and especially in the time of praying, I thought my problems would be fixed, which was all before 2013. Then in 2013, my cap of limitations was lifted. This is the cap, remember this now, was lifted off the bottle, which is my body. Here is where I will just show you how that worked for me. So basically we all have dark sides, which is what's in the bottle, was in the bottle. We are facing, and we take the limitations off our mind, which was the cap I lifted. Don't limit what He can do because we have to just trust in the Lord. That sometimes even after we pray and we just give up. And it is often why we get defeated. However, even though nothing has really changed, we just keep praying. That's the prayer, the sign of the prayer, the flowing Lord. Just keep praying and never ever give up praying. And if we do that and devote ourselves completely to the Lord, He will pull us through. The dark times will go away and we just have to be patient. I know it's hard. Being patient truly is a virtue. But by never ever giving up on prayer, it's going to show you that God will eventually answer all your prayer. And the more we pray, which is this water going into the bottle, one day everything will become clear. You see how clear this is now? That is the power of prayer. Folks, I think that demonstration says it all. If we had a bottle which represents our body, and the bottle, everything was dark on the inside, and the water coming out of the faucet represents the prayer, day after day after day, just keeps adding to the darkness which was in the bottle. Eventually, all that prayer has to turn what was dark inside this bottle, which is our body, has to change and become as clear as this water in here. That, folks, is the power of prayer. Hello, folks. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I just want to share my story with my situation back in 1981 in the United States Marine Corps. I was sitting in a chapel during boot camp, and a chaplain tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to come into his quiet room. As I was walking into his quiet room, I had no idea what he wanted from me. It was then that God was setting my life in motion. So the chaplain sat me down and he says, Ralph, I've noticed that you like to help people, you motivate people, you're always walking around with a smile. And I wanted to know, this is the chaplain saying this to me, I wanted to know, Ralph, would you like to volunteer and become a lay leader? And of course, I had no idea what a lay leader was. So he explained to me what a lay leader was. It's somebody that is a liaison between the recruits and the chaplain. So when the recruits have issues, problems, or anything like that, they go to the lay leader, and they go to the chaplain as the lay leader to let the chaplain know of the situations that are happening. It was then in 1981 that God already had a plan for me, and what when there from that point on was that God realized that no matter how long it would take for me to achieve what God already knew what was going to happen to me, He would let me go down into the worst extremes in life. So from 1981 as a lay leader, and I'm going to show you the medal now with a lay leader, the front and the back. This is the back of the medal, and then the front looks like this. So in 1981, at Paris Island, South Carolina, when I became a lay leader, God already had my life set in motion. But again, He wanted me to set my own course in life. So I went down the years and the course of my life and did some of the worst things possible to my own body through alcoholism. God already said to Himself, well, I'm going to wait for Ralph to get close to hitting rock bottom. So from 1981 until 2011, which is 30 years, God came to me again and He said, Ralph, are you ready to continue helping other people? That's when I formed Mastic Beach Outreach 2011, and what that was is for older people and mentally and physically challenged people, that my wife and I would help them by giving them clothing, food, possibly, like in one case, tires for someone's car. And so God said, okay, he is getting better, but he's still not ready to do what I really wanted him to do. So in 2011, I continued my alcoholism to the point of 10 to 15 shots a day. As time went further, two years down the road, it became worse and worse with my alcoholism. In 2013, God finally put His big hand on my head and says, are you ready now? That is when I hit rock bottom. June 22nd, 2013, I reached out and I finally admit that I had an alcohol problem. It was then when God lifted me up and set my life in motion for today, September 2nd, 2014. So from 2013 until 2014, I continue educating myself and you, others, through my websites, through my videos on how to battle with addiction. And God saw this, and He said to Himself, Ralph is still continuing helping people. So in between 2013 and 2014, as time was going by, and I proved to God that I was really reforming myself, that God introduced me to Dr. Luis Gonzalez. I had been toying with the idea about becoming a substance abuse counselor until I ran into an article about recovery coaching. So I thought it was very ironic that God had planted Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, that's StartingPointMN.com, 844-414-8444, into my life. Dr. Luis Gonzalez gave me the educational programming to turn me into a recovery coach. So while I was training for Dr. Luis Gonzalez to become a recovery coach, and today, my father comes from South Carolina to visit, and we're looking at my shrine, which my wife calls a shrine, which is all my Marine Corps ribbons and medals. And my father asked me, Ralph, what is this medal for? What is this particular medal for? And I then said to myself, here's where it all came together. I finally realized what that medal stood for and how it influenced me in my life. It was back in 1981 that God knew already that I would eventually, towards the middle or 60% of my life, be out to help other people, to continuously help people, to motivate people, to coach people. So it was from 1981 to 2011 that I ran my life to the ragged ends, to the pit of the worst. And then from 2011 to 2013, even worse than that. And then June 22nd, 2013, finally helped myself up with the grace of God. And in 2014 became an addiction recovery coach. And all that epiphany came to me due to my father asking me what this stood for. This particular silver medal, when he asked me that, it all finally came together, that God had bigger and better plans for me. And this is what I'm telling you, folks. There is a plan for you. No matter what the plan might be, you don't know what it is, but there is a plan for you. It's just a matter of you figuring it out. So why don't you let me help take your life back? Thank you. God bless you, and have a sober day. Hi, I'm Ralf Friedrichs. Welcome to Grand Central Station. The train to be here any minute, so if you're ready to get your life back on track, hop aboard. Let's go to www.clearviews.info, where I'll show you how a sober today can make a better tomorrow. If you're ready to get your life back on track, hop aboard the train coming in about 2 minutes. Thank you, and have a great day. www.clearviews.info. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Clear Reform, where I will help you take your life back. Before we get into today's preview, I want everyone to please hear my short bio. In 2011, at the age of 49, I started feeling much more mature. I started thinking differently, getting rid of old habits, and wanting to make positive changes in my life. However, the positive changes could not happen until the gates of demons were closed, and closed permanently. I choose to call my gates of demons rock bottom. In 2013, those gates were closed by me from any alcohol or any other substance. Not only closed, but I padlocked them. I realized I was a functioning alcoholic. For the most part, I was able to deal with everyday's activity. I isolated myself from others and now want to be the person I never let myself be. I had to face sobriety, life without alcohol, use, and lifestyle I created around it. Now that I see things much clearly, drinking is not even an option. It would be too painful to even start again. I now have learned from the past, left it behind. I'm moving forward, and intentionally I created a positive future. Part of that future is educating myself continuously about my disease, how to live with it, and how to help others like you. I want to help others see, feel, experience sobriety like I feel daily. Life without alcohol and drugs is a meaningful life. As I approach different addiction educational methods, videos became a passion. Videos give me and you a face to look at, a voice to hear, and a story to tell. My story will continue through the camera into your living room, into your kitchen, or wherever you might be looking. Join me in the fight of the lifetime. Together, we will all stand tall and sober. Thank you very much. And like I said, the next preview presentation is to follow this program. And I want everyone to remember that a sober today makes a better tomorrow. Let me, Ralf Friedrichs, be your certified recovery coach and help you take your life back. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today we're going to talk about relapses during the holidays. As the holiday season is approaching us, I mean, here we are in September. October is right around the corner, and then we have Thanksgiving, and then of course we have Christmas and New Year. So we, as recovering either alcoholics or recovering from drugs, we need to be aware of the signs and how to avoid relapse. I don't like to choose the word relapse. I like to choose the word setback. However, for all intents purposes, the articles that I did find on the internet are all worded as relapse. Before we go any further, I just want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point at www.startingpoint.com. startingpointmn.com. Dr. Luis Gonzalez can help you go from addiction to recovery. He will lay down a guideline for you. He will lay down a path for you. And he does not dwell on the past. He works on today's 24 hours and then talks to you about tomorrow and the week after. He also can make you a addiction recovery coach if you possess one of the or all of the P's that we'd like to choose, the 3 P's, which are passion, professionalism, and personality. And of course, it does help if you have some sort of addiction background. Excuse me, let me just move over. Addiction background, whether it be your own addiction or recovery, and or family members that you might have helped. So this is something that we want to work on, and if you really truly have that passion to become a recovery coach, get a hold of him. You can get him at 844-414-8444, and that's Dr. Luis Gonzalez at Starting Point at www.startingpointmn.com. Also, of course, then you have my own websites, which are www.clearviews.info. Clearviews.info basically is information on addiction and recovery. You will find all sorts of articles and things written by either doctors, psychiatrists, or psychologists, or any medical professionals. Now, mind you, those articles and newspaper clippings and some of the videos are all clinically dispensed by them, not me. I merely take their information and put it on my website to give to you folks. What you will find on my website are approximately 62 of my own videos. Those are my own experience. That's what I went through in the past, what I go through daily, and I share it with you. That's www.clearviews.info. Now, on the other hand, I have www.clearreform.com. Now, what Clear Reform is basically what Dr. Luis Gonzalez does on the latter of the 2 items that he does. I do not train people how to become a coach. What I do, like Dr. Luis Gonzalez, is I help you to go from addiction to recovery. I'm like that bridge in between. If you're over here, and this is addiction, and you want to walk across the bridge and reach recovery, I am that bridge, so you can just keep walking right across. I will guide you. I will set a structured program up for you, and we will talk about today and tomorrow. We will not dwell on yesterday. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist, nor is Dr. Luis Gonzalez. You can reach me at 1-844-405-HELP, or you can text me at 631-599-0218. And as far as Clear Reform is spelled CLEARREFORM.com. You notice that both my websites start with the word clear. Now, what does CLEAR stand for? It stands for Community Lessons Empower Addiction Recovery. I will tell you that through all of us in the community, we all do have lessons that will empower our addiction recovery. Because those lessons, how will they empower our addiction recovery? It's the lessons learned by people like, let's talk about the videos during the week, the celebrities, their lessons, the sports figures, their lessons, the rock stars, their lessons. It's every video that we talk about, there's always a lesson to be learned. And one of the biggest lessons to learn is to admit that you have a problem. And once you have done that, to overcome it is by educating yourself. It's to set up action plans daily. My action plan today is to do this video for you, entitled 12 Ways to Avoid Addiction Relapse During the Holidays. That is my action plan for today. Let's dive right into it. 12 ways to avoid addiction relapse during the holidays. The holiday season brings joy, but it can also bring lots of stress. What kind of stress can we get during the holidays? Well, let's start. Financial burden, because now you have to worry about buying presents. It's hard enough to go through the whole year supporting you and your family and yourself. So now the extra stress of having to come up with more finances to purchase more gifts, that is stress. I choose to call those stresses. The busyness and stress associated with holidays can be challenging if you are in recovery from drug and or alcohol addiction. For many, the holidays can be so challenging that they relapse, or I choose to call setback. Folks, when you see the stressors, financial, that would be a stressor. The extra running around is a stressor. Looking at other people doing alcohol and drugs is a stressor. While the holidays can be a relapse trigger or a stressor, they don't have to be. Follow these 7 tips to help you stay on the road to recovery during the often stressful holiday season. Now this says 7 to follow these 7, but I do believe I added 5 more for a total of 12. Be choosy. What does that mean? The holiday season means seemingly endless parties, right? Nights out and gatherings. Let me read that again. The holiday season means seamlessly endless parties, nights out, and gatherings. Choose to be selective about the events you attend. Try to choose the ones that don't involve too much drugs and alcohol. If you know a certain party will have alcohol, skip it, for it make you feel uncomfortable. If you really have to attend a party that may trigger a relapse, or I choose to call a stressor, request a friend to keep an eye out for you. I know it sounds childish. Do you need a babysitter? No, but what you do need is your support. I always talk about having that crutch. In my case, my wife is the crutch. Who is your crutch? Do you have one person you can count out, whether it's going to parties or wherever you go? That person will remind you continuously of your great achievement during your recovery. Be sure to bring a non-alcoholic drink so you can have reasonable options. Folks, one of my videos, it's called 10 Mocktails. A mocktail is a cocktail. It's to mock a cocktail. I call them mocktails. They are all drinks that look real but do not have the killer called alcohol. Number 2, continue addiction education. We speak about this daily, weekly, monthly. The education part is part of your recovery. If you don't continuously educate yourself, I guarantee you will have a stressor or a setback or a relapse. You might think that it's going to be impossible for you to continue your meetings while traveling. So what they're saying is to continue meetings, they're probably referring to AA. Folks, you can find AA no matter where you are, no matter what town you are. All you have to do is go to Google, in the search bar, write AA meetings for wherever town you're in. Folks, there's also AA online. If you are set to stay in the AA format, you can find AA online. You can also educate yourself in methods like I do, which you see daily when you watch my videos, and we'll discuss that again. But by planning ahead, you can make sure that the constant source of support continues. If you know you're going to go away and you know you might not be able to attend a meeting, prepare yourself for a backup plan. Call local support groups, AA, knock-on centers in the areas where you are traveling, and ask to join the meetings while you visit with friends and family. Not only will this help you stick to your routine, which you never want to get out of your routine, but will afford you a little time away from the stresses of the family. What they're saying is, instead of being constantly under the family's roof, this will give you a reason to get out, but be careful when you go out. Don't get yourself into a situation where you might have that stressor. This goes back to enlisting a supporter, a crutch. Just as you wouldn't travel without your suitcase, don't leave home without a contact information for a sponsor. Who is your sponsor if you're an AA? Who is your crutch in life in general? So don't forget to get the information for your sponsor, a friend, support group buddy, in case you begin to experience triggers or temptations, otherwise known as stressors. Make sure they know you are traveling and you might need to contact them for support. Develop an action plan. This is huge. As much as addiction education daily, action plans need to be included in every step in your life. It's not just relating to addiction. When the dog has to go to the bathroom, your action plan is to take him out. When the dishes have to be cleaned, your action plan is to clean them. When you have to go to work, your action plan is to get up and get ready to go to work. These are action plans. No matter what has to be done in life, there has to be an action plan to take care of that situation. My action plan to do this video was to prepare my material, which I did a couple days ago. Excuse me, I have to sneeze again. And then to do the video today. That is an action plan. Oh. Thank you. My action plan was to prepare the material, which I did, and now the action plan is to execute the video, which is what I'm doing, and then my action plan is to splice my commercials in and edit it, which I will be doing. These are considered action plans. When families get together, anything can happen. That is why it is important that you have an action plan. You remove yourselves from situations that make you uncomfortable without disrespecting members of your family and or the host of the party. If you have an action plan of a situation that might make you feel uncomfortable, you probably will be better off. Such as they're serving drinks only. But your action plan would be to have a recipe for a mocktail. Hand it to the bartender, whoever's making the drinks. Action plan in every aspect in life is very important, whether it is a run-of-the-mill excuse like being tired of traveling or enlisting the help of a buddy to get you out of a bar. Make sure you cover your bases. Have a plan, hence action plan. That would be number 4. Number 5, make the time for exercise while traveling or when company is in town. Make sure you are allotting enough time for your exercise to engage in a hobby that helps you release some stress. This will be majorly beneficial in maintaining your sobriety, and you won't bottle up your emotions. You need to relieve yourself somehow, whether it's jogging, whether it's drawing, sculpturing, playing a sport. You need to find time for you. Because remember, it is you that has to fight this daily, so it's you that needs the time. Don't overeat. It is incredibly easy to overeat during the holidays. Yes, don't we know that? It's incredibly easy to eat all year, not just holidays in my case. Between freshly baked cookies, cakes, and candies, I think it should be between freshly baked. What they wrote is based, but anyway. Between freshly baked cookies, cakes, and candies, a person can really begin to feel down on themselves. So that is a stressor. Folks, when you look in the mirror and you start seeing those pounds packing onto your body, onto your chest, onto your chin right here, that is a stressor to possibly make you want a setback or a relapse. Avoid this by eating regular portions of food and not stuffing yourself to the gills. By doing this, you reduce the risk of feeling bad about your actions and making excuses to use any drugs or alcohol to cope with the results of overeating. Folks, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself with some junk food and all that, but basically what it really comes down to is you need to give the percentage of what you intake with the percentage how to get it out of your system. That would be exercise, and that would be doing some sort of anything to alleviate the calories pounding onto your body. Look after your health. In between attending parties and baking cookies, you might forget to take care of your own health, and that is important that we take care of. This could make you sick and add more stress, upping the risk of relapse, otherwise known as what? That's right, a stressor. Exercise and balanced diet will keep you in good shape during the holidays. Research suggests that exercise helps stave off cravings for drug and alcohol. Getting enough sleep and rest will also be important during the holidays. Sleep is very important. You don't want to deprive your sleep. So, with all this said so far, we do know that you need to give yourself time for yourself, because it is you that is battling the addiction. And you also want to make sure that you keep yourself in decent shape, because you don't want to look in the mirror and feel uncomfortable with what you might see. I do always talk about when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see somebody that you are totally disgusted with? Or do you see somebody that you see as daily fighting an addiction and getting better? If that's what you see, you are now continuing to write those chapters in your book of life. We'll talk about those chapters again in a minute. Rely on your support system, not with you. During the holidays, rely on your family and close friends to help maintain sobriety. Everybody knows, hopefully everybody knows that you are fighting addiction, and hopefully they're being very supportive. Keep them on speed dial and let them know whenever you find yourself in a challenging situation. If they know what your relapse or stressor triggers are, they can help you avoid them. Folks, don't get yourself into situations. Avoid going to bars if you feel uncomfortable watching people drink. Avoid hanging around with people that are doing drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, oxycodone, stuff like that. Avoid all that. So if you avoid a lot of situations, you won't be in those situations. Don't forget your priorities. No matter how busy you get during holiday-related activities, you have to keep as your priority pursuing recovery. That is, you remember I spoke about this yesterday. My two most important things are my wife and family and my recovery. They are equally important, just at two different levels. When I say that, one is more of a action plan, which is my recovery, and the other one is more of family love orientated. But they're both at the same level. I can't do one without the other. That's really the bottom line. So you need to prioritize yourself. Where were we here? Do not hesitate to seek professional. Oh no, I'm sorry. Here we go. If you haven't already, you can use free time during the holidays to find and attend support groups. Go to your AA meetings. Turn on one of my videos. If you're in a treatment center, then I'm sure in the treatment center during the holidays they have some sort of other support groups that you might want to get out of the everyday situation. Get needed addiction treatment. That brings me right to that. And like we just talked about the addiction treatment centers. If you find yourself unable to deal with the stress that comes with the holidays and worried about relapsing or stressing or stressor or setting back, do not hesitate to seek professional addiction treatment center. It may be what you need to refocus on your sobriety and get the support, even if it's only a 30, 60, 90-day program. If you feel that you need it, you need to do it. And if you have insurance or you have Medicaid, that's even better. And if you don't have any insurance, go to your website for your state and see what is offered for people that have that are money challenged. If you still can't find anything, contact me. Text me 631-599-0218 or call me at 844-405-HELP. I was able to locate for someone in New Hampshire, so I do know that there are programs out there. So just get a hold of me and I'll see if I can help you. Take part in constructive activities. Occupy yourself with positive activities such as gardening, learning a new language, or helping local nonprofit can help you take your mind off drugs and alcohol. The nonprofit is probably the strongest one in there because when you help others, you feel good about yourself. Folks, you really do. And if you don't, if you're helping people and you don't feel good about yourself, then something is wrong with you. Then you might want to take a self-inventory, your own feelings. Because 99% of humans, when they help others, they feel more positive about themselves. These activities will not only keep you happier, but also boost your self-esteem and keep you focused on positive activities. The perfect recipe for maintaining sobriety. You know, like any recipe, there's a lot of ingredients, but the main ingredient in maintaining your sobriety is to stay away from alcohol and drugs. The second ingredient, that's the main ingredient, is educating yourself. Avoid relapse triggers, otherwise known as stressors. Do certain situations make you feel like you want to use drugs or alcohol? If seeing your ex makes you unbearably sad or debating with your difficult uncle causes you to get angry, it's probably best to limit or avoid your interactions with these people. Make note of the situations that trigger your substance abuse and avoid them during the holidays. Folks, not just during the holidays, avoid them totally. Your ex is your ex, and there's nothing you can do about it. I always say do not work on the past, and we're going to talk about that next. We're almost done here. But avoid them totally. Before the holiday festivities start, make sure that you plan your meetings, get in touch with your support, develop your action plan, continue exercising, and plan on eating healthy. Each one of these tips will help you stay on a schedule that will help you avoid addiction relapse during the holidays. If you need to get help, holidays or not, staying sober is an everyday challenge countless people face. Do not wait until the holidays to creep up to address your concern about addiction relapse. By attending meetings and therapy sessions or continuing in your residential or outpatient addiction treatment center, you can learn how to prevent addiction relapse all year round. That's how you get help. Folks, we talked about how we can't dwell on the past. And folks, and this is, I truly mean this. If I worried about what I did in the past, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this video. It is just too depressing. We need to let the past go. I'll explain this very simply. We all have a book of life. You have one, as I do. My book of life started in 1961, which was my birth. My book ends the day I die, whenever that might be. From 1961, many chapters were written by me, because my actions, my living, writes those chapters. So from 1961 until 2014, there were a lot of chapters that were not very appealing or appeasing to me. But in 2013, I started rewriting those chapters. Those chapters now include only 99% good things. Of course, we all are humans and there's going to be some downtime. But the majority of all my chapters from 2013, hopefully, till the end of my book of life, will only include positive things. Folks, if you have not admitted to working with your addiction, or that you even have a problem, and your chapters are continuously being written by you in a negative way, it is today that you need to stop and start writing new chapters. Whenever you were born, that was your first chapter in your book of life. And whenever you die, that will be your last chapter in your book of life. It is what is between the first chapter and the last chapter that is the most important. However, what do you think impacts people's memories of you most? It is the later chapters, not the beginning as much. Because remember, we all as humans learn from our mistakes, hopefully. So if you have, let's say, 150 chapters in your book, and the first 80 were bad, but the last 70 were good, people will remember you from the last 70. So why not make today, September 2014, a new beginning in your book? If you have addictions with alcohol and drugs, the first thing you need to do is to break down and admit that. Second thing you need to do is you need to seek some sort of methods of treatment. And then the third thing to do is to reach for your higher power. Now, you don't have to do it in that order, but you do have to start by admitting that you have a problem. I think the best thing to do is, once you have admitted you had a problem, I think your higher power, God, and your method of treatment should come equally together, because you need one to do the other. So what methods of treatments are there for your book of life? I was born in 1961, first chapter. I finally admit that I had an alcohol problem, 2013. End of all the bad chapters of my life, or my book of life. 2013, new chapters started being written, which included creating www.clearviews.info, which included creating videos daily, which included creating www.clearreform.com, which included becoming a master addiction recovery coach. Those are all chapters that were written by me in my book of life starting 2013, and those will continue until the end of my time, until the end of my book. So start today rewriting your book of life. These are the methods once you have admitted that you have a problem with drugs and or alcohol. First thing you might want to do is to reach out to your higher power, ask for guidance and direction. Then, either you can go on Google on your yellow pages, seek a treatment that you might feel most comfortable with. And there's no pain in trying different methods. I sought AA right away. I went to a couple meetings, maybe 3 or 4. I just felt I needed to be more actively involved, more hands on than just pretty much reading out of a book. more than just sitting in a circle and saying, hi, my name is Ralph and I'm an alcoholic. Because I know I'm an alcoholic. But what is my action plan to take care of that daily? Is it to sit in a circle and tell people I'm an alcoholic and follow these 12 steps? Or is it to literally do research daily, literally to create a video and talk to you about it, and literally to become an addiction recovery coach? Because when I coach someone out there, I'm coaching myself. When I do videos out there, I'm watching these videos myself. When I'm doing the research to make the videos, the information that I'm providing you here today, I read the information myself. That, to me, is more constructive. It works 500% better for me. So you have AA, which has the 12 steps, which has the meetings, which has been around since 1936 and which has helped millions, but it needs to be appreciated by you. Let's say, hypothetically, you went to AA and after maybe 5 meetings you said, let me try something different, Ralph. That's okay. Come and take a look at what I can help you with. It is things like educational videos, reading material, articles, jokes, videos daily, Facebook clippings, other people's testimonies, you reaching out and helping other people with their addiction, or possibly you becoming an addiction coach. Those are my methods. They give you something daily to look forward to. It's not like you're going to look at your clock and say, oh geez, 6 o'clock I have to go to my AA meeting. And then at 6:45 to 7 o'clock you're done for the day. My addiction recovery educational knowledge daily doesn't end. It continues from morning until night because I'm constantly thinking here what I need to do for the next day. So my method does work, and I do have 16 alternative steps to the 12-step program. The 12-step program is designed to go one step at a time, starting at 1 and work your way up to 12. My 16 alternative steps are from 1 step to 16, but you can start at 15 and go down to 3 and go from 4 to 9, and it doesn't matter. Or if either one of these programs is not guided in a direction where you need to be supervised enough for you, because keep in mind, AA only supervises you for an hour. My methods only supervise you. It doesn't supervise you at all, actually. It's totally up to you. But if you need to be watched 24/7 for a while, because you have a problem with being left alone about doing drugs and alcohol, go check yourself into one of these treatment centers. If you go to page 7 on www.clearviews.info, I have all states, and all states have some treatment centers. Might not be in your location, but if you don't see it on my website, just go to Google search bar and put in treatment centers and type in wherever you might be or wherever you want to go. Check yourself into a treatment center. Do the 30, 60, 90-day programs. But folks, when you come out, don't think that you're fixed. I am not fixed, and here we are, September of 2014. I am still not fixed. I probably will never be fixed. What I will and am able to live with it. I am able to live with it. It's that simple. And what makes me able to live with it is the educational knowledge that I get daily and my higher power. That, folks, makes me live with it. The treatment center, what they're doing for you is for the 30, 60, and 90-day program is putting a Band-Aid on your situation to stop, as I will choose to call, the bleeding, which is your abuse of alcohol and or drugs. But when you go out and you lift that Band-Aid, it is up to you to continuously make sure that wound, which is your alcoholism and addiction, is constantly being reapplied with new Band-Aids, which is educational knowledge and treatment, sponsors or methods. It is up to you to constantly make sure that wound stays not infected. And what is the infection? That is the alcohol and the drugs. So you are responsible for your own future when it comes to alcohol and or addiction. You are the captain of your vessel. You started writing your chapters whenever you were born, and you will continuously write those chapters all the way to the end of your book of life, which is your death. Like I said, if those chapters were bad up until today, that's okay. Forget about them. Start today with a new chapter, and make sure that you continuously write good chapters. So when you are gone, your husband, wife, mother, father, grandparents, children will remember you as good person. Any person that will judge you by how you were when you were born all the way until 21, and then from 22 until 90, don't judge you how good you were. Let's say if you changed at 21. Those people aren't deserving of you. People will be judged by their last chapters of their book of life. Nobody judges the first chapters. So rewrite them. Start writing new chapters, and I promise you, you will be remembered. But let's on the other side, who cares about what people remember is what you're saying. But don't you care enough about yourself to make yourself to be a healthy person, to be a person that can survive in society without drugs and alcohol? And if that's not enough, how do you think God's going to judge you if you don't start taking care of yourself? God gave you life. He gave you a perfect life with no illnesses, no addictions. If you took that life, let's say in my case from 1961, if I took that life and ran it to the ground until 2013, God would rather forgive me, because starting 2013 to whenever my end of time is I fixed and worked on my problem. God will forgive me because I finally admitted I had a problem. But God will not forgive if, let's say, you were born in 1961 and you died in 2000 and let's say 14, and you never addressed your addiction and your alcoholism. God will never forgive you for that because you did not reach out for his guidance and direction. It is better to have half a bad life and a half a good life than only to have all bad in your life. That's so simple. That not only comes to your addiction, but it comes to your spirituality. God waits patiently daily for you to reach out and ask for guidance and direction. He waits. He does not force himself on you, although he has the power to do so, but he doesn't. He waits until you are strong enough and you are desperate enough and you are hurting enough to finally reach out and say, God, I've had enough. I do need you to guide my life. God, I can't do it on my own. No matter how much I try, I can't do it on my own. That is when God will finally say, okay, I am here. Let's walk the rest of your life together. And it's then, when you're walking that rest of your life with God, that you'll see that your addiction with education will be workable. Your alcoholism is workable. The cravings will start disappearing. And people around you will notice the difference. Folks, I always say this, never, ever give up. No matter how bad things in life can be, and believe me, they can be, whether it's being financial, relationship, millions of other reasons to give you nothing but bad feelings about life. No matter how bad things can be, never ever give up. Even if you do have a relapse or a setback during the holidays, or you've had one already, don't give up. Get up, move on. Because the minute you give up is the time where it's done. When you give up on yourself. And when you give up on yourself, it doesn't matter, because nobody else cares much about you as you. Sure, your husband and your wife, they love you, but it is you that controls you. A crutch or a sponsor can only be there as much as they can. But you are with you 24 hours. Every second, every breath you take is you. So don't give up on things. Don't give up because you're overeating. Do something, an action plan. Do something about it. Stop overeating. Don't give up because people are looking at you funny because you're not drinking alcohol. Do something about it. Have a mocktail, something that looks like alcohol. If you believe it here, no matter what you want to do in life, it becomes clear no matter where you are. It becomes clear because their community lessons empower addiction recovery. That's why it becomes clear. You are part of my community. I am part of yours. And God is part of the global community. Reach out to God for your guidance and direction. Reach out to someone to help you with your addiction. But most importantly, reach out inside of you and say, I have a problem. And when you say you have a problem, you need to do things about it. You cannot just merely say, I have a problem. Like the folks down south that have reached out to me, some of them in really bad shape, and as time went on, they kind of just laxed themselves. Matter of fact, one of them even posted on Facebook a picture of himself with a bottle of, I believe it was Jack Daniels. I'm not saying shame on him because I've been there. What I am saying is I'm patiently sitting on the sideline waiting. When they are ready for more help again, I will be there. I am sitting on the sideline just waiting and waiting and waiting. I will not go after people to help them. They need to want the help. Just as much as God sits up there in heaven waiting for you to reach out to him. Reach out to him and say, I need guidance and direction. Let's go over this list real quick again. You need to be choosy. If you know the party is designated to be an alcohol or a drug party, stay away from it. Be choosy about it. You need to constantly continue educating yourself on addiction. Even if it's only an hour a day, do some reading, watch my videos. This is I think this is video number 63. Watch my videos. Not only are they educating you, but they're entertaining. How are they entertaining? Because I mispronounce words. I scratch my nose. I'll sneeze. And we'll laugh a little bit. But besides all that, you're getting the education. That is continued education for addiction. Enlist a supporter, your wife, your husband, a friend. If you have to go to these parties, bring somebody along that'll keep an eye on you. An eye on you. Develop an action plan. In case you go to one of these parties and somebody puts you in a corner and you feel uncomfortable, what is your action plan to get out of this situation? It was a long trip. I need to go home. I need to get some rest. That's an action plan. Use action plans. Make time for exercise. When you start looking in a mirror, what do you see? Besides the fact that you might not see what you like because you are not happy with your addiction. Are you gaining weight because of the overeating and lack of exercise? And if so, is that going to be a stressor to make you relapse? And if you relapse, is that going to be an excuse because you overate and haven't exercised? Because if that's the excuse, you need to do something. Don't overeat. It's okay to have junk food. Just make sure that you somehow work it off. Look after your health. Very important. Because you are not worth anything to anyone if you're not around. Don't let your last chapter in your book read something to the effect of, he didn't take his medication and he had a heart attack because he was supposed to take high blood pressure pills or cholesterol pills. Don't let that happen. Rely on your support system, not with you. So if you're out of town, let people know that you're out of town. People like your wife, your sponsors. Let them know you might contact them if you feel weak enough. Don't forget to set your priorities. No matter how busy you get during the holiday-related activities, you have to keep your priority pursuing in recovery, no matter where you are, even if it's in a hotel. Take something with you. And if you have Wi-Fi, go to YouTube and go to Take Your Life Back with Ralf Friedrichs. 63 videos. Get needed addiction treatment. Like I said, if AA or my methods or other methods don't work and you need to be supervised, go to the treatment centers. Check yourself in. 30, 60, 90-day program. They take insurance. They take Medicaid. If you don't have either, look at your state website. If you still find nothing for financially challenged people, text me 631-599-0218 or call me 844-404-HELP. Take part of constructive activities. Occupying yourself with positive activities such as gardening, learning a new language, or helping others. That's the key, helping others. Because when you help others, you help yourself. By me doing these videos, I'm helping me daily. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Avoid relapse triggers. Stress, parties, relationship. Those are all triggers. Avoid them. Try to remain sober and not relapse during the holidays can be a challenge if you're in recovery from drug or alcohol addiction. However, if you're determined not to let your substance abuse problems affect your holidays, you can strike a happy balance between having fun with friends and family and maintaining sobriety. It's all a matter of will. Before the holiday festivities start, make sure you plan your meetings, get in touch with your support, develop your action plan, continue exercising, and plan on eating healthy. Each one of these tips will help you stay on a schedule that will help you avoid addiction relapse during the holidays. And if you need to get help, holidays or not, staying sober is an everyday challenge countless people face, including me. Do not wait until the holidays to creep up to address your concerns about your addiction relapse. By attending meetings and therapy sessions or continue your residential outpatient treatment, you can learn how to prevent relapse all year round. Easiest way to learn relapse prevention all year round is continue educating yourself, folks. Let today, September 2014, be the first day that you start rewriting the book the chapters in your book of life. We all have a story. We all have a past, whether good or bad, and we all have a present, whether good or bad, and we all have a future. But let's not plan the future on being bad. Let's concentrate on only making the future good. The past is gone. Have you learned from your mistakes? And if you have, good, move on. The present is today, even if you still are making mistakes. As long as they become less, it's still an improvement from the past. And tomorrow should only be good. And day after and year after. So when your end of time comes and your last chapter in your book of life is written, let your memory be in the minds of your loved ones as good memories. Don't write those chapters towards the end to be bad so people remember the bad side of you. It's that simple. There is nothing in this world to prevent you from having good chapters for the rest of your life in your book of life. Remember, we're not all perfect. You are going to have little stumbles as far as writing some bad things in the remainder of your book of life. But as long as the good outweigh 75% to 25% bad, that is an accomplishment, because the chapters before today, September 2014, probably was 75% bad to 25% good. So reverse that now. Reach out to God. Say, God, I need your guidance and direction. He will help you. I want to shout out to my friend up north. Today is Saturday, 2014, September 2014. It is 2 months, and I am so proud of you. I know that you've had a couple bumps in the road, but that's okay. You've overcome those bumps, and you will continue strong. I know you will. And I'm proud of you. To my friend up in New Hampshire, it's been about 2 weeks. Have you heard anything from the state? And if you have, what is that action plan for your grandson? Text me 631-599-0218 or Facebook private message me on your action plan for your grandson, because I am truly concerned. If I don't hear anything, maybe within a week, I'll try to give you a call, because I'm curious to find out what the action plan might be and how the state is involved in helping you. For my friends down in Texas, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, I continuously send you the videos. I hope you enjoy them. Reach out to me when you need me. That's all I have to say about that, because I am not going to reach out to you other than those videos. When, and it's not if, it's when you need me, you will get in touch with me. It's when you hit rock bottom, not if, you'll get in touch with me or someone. It is just a matter of time. Everybody will hit rock bottom, and if they don't, it's because they didn't live to. Because of their addiction, their drugs and alcohol, they probably had an accident or died in their sleep or overdosed. Because if you have an addiction, you will hit rock bottom, or you just won't exist. And when you do hit rock bottom, it is nothing but pure pleasure of going straight up. Your life will change. Your appearance will change. People will change around you because you are becoming a better human, a more balanced human. And folks, I say this and I'll say it again, don't ever give up on yourself or others. Try to be a role model in your own home. I wanted to address this because I forgot to address it yesterday, but you need to be a role model. If you're a father, be a role model to your wife and children. If you're a mother, be a role model to your husband and children. Grandparents, be a role model to your children and your grandchildren. But you need to be a role model, because monkey see, monkey do. Your children see you drinking, they will drink. They see you smoking, they will smoke. They see you hitting someone, they will go out and bully people. They hear you with your nasty profanity, they will use that language. Monkey see, monkey do. They see you going to church, they'll go to church. They see you loving people, they will love people. They see you drinking anything but alcohol, hopefully they will. They don't see you smoking, hopefully they won't. Be a role model. And part of that being a role model starts in your bathroom with Mr. Medicine Cabinet. Take any addictive items out of there. If you have anyone in your family that you possibly think might be addicted to prescription medication, take everything out that is addictive out of Mr. Medicine, because he is your legal drug dealer in your home. He is legalized. And what you put in there, he will dispense out to whoever wants to. Whoever can open that medicine cabinet door will take it out and he will dispense it. Take any addictive medication out. And if you do have somebody that's addicted to medication, whether being prescription from inside your drug dealer medicine cabinet or from the outside, hide your money and hide jewelry. Put it in a safe. Because when you leave your money out and you leave your jewelry out, you're just feeding to the addiction of the addicted. They will take your money, they will take your jewelry and pawn it. Mind you, it is not the person that's doing it that's the bad person. It's the addiction that's doing it to the person to do it to you or to themselves. It's like when somebody's drunk and they say all these nasty things to you, or when they're high, it's not the person's heart that's talking, it's the addiction talking. And it's very hard for people to forgive other people that say nasty things to you when they're addicted or they're high or they're drunk. Because you think it's them talking. But folks, as I stand or sit here in front of this camera, I am telling you, when somebody who is drunk or high on drugs, when they say nasty things to you or any other family member, it is not them talking from the heart. It is the drug and alcohol that's talking. It's the demon, the devil talking through the alcohol and the drugs. So alleviate as much as you can at home, because everything starts in your home. Everything. Profanity starts in your home. Drinking starts at your home. Smoking starts in your home. Domestic abuse starts at your home. Those are the bad things. What good things start at your home? Love, God, example, role models. Those need to start at your home. So when you send your children out, at 18, you prepped them for life with only positive, good things. But when you send them at 18 and all you've shown them is drinking, drugging, profanity, and hitting, you're just sending them into a world that they're prepared for, because that's all they're going to find out there. It's such an easy transition for them. It's an easy reformation for them to go from a house that had nothing but profanity, drugs, alcohol, and domestic abuse into a society that does the same, that's perfect. They don't even have to readjust. But when you are a role model and your child never saw drugs, never saw alcohol, never saw profanity, and heard profanity, and never saw domestic abuse, when you send them out into society, they are coming with a wall up because they are not used to seeing all that other stuff. And hopefully that brick wall, not one brick ever comes down. It's not guaranteed. Humans, adults, make their own decisions in life and do their own thing. But isn't it nice to know that you have done your best to prepare this youngster for life and society? You've done your best. So part of your book of life, all those chapters written, doesn't just include your own life, but includes the life that you have living with you. It includes how you treated your husband and wife and grandparents and grandchildren. It is how you raised your children. It is how you performed as a balanced, functional human in life. Those are all part of those chapters. So my point here is that if today, September 6th, all those chapters are bad, let today be the first day of a new chapter. You can change today and the rest of your life. You can't change the past, but you can change today and the rest of your life. Reach out to God, ask for guidance and direction, admit you have an addiction problem, and start action plan addiction educational programs. Start working on either AAs, go seek them. Come to me, I will help you with my methods. Severe enough, go to a treatment center. If you're watching this and you are feeling so low in the dumps, whether it being in a physical sense or in a mental sense, because of your addiction, either if it's a physical sense and your chest is hurting or your head is exploding or whatever, call 911. And if it's a mental sense where you're contemplating certain things, including suicide, reach out to someone quickly, and reach out right now. And even if it is 911, reach out to someone quickly. Don't let the demon inside of you convince you of doing anything that's life altering or a lifetime decision. There is hope for whoever you are. It doesn't matter how bad your life is, there is hope. Let someone help reach and pull you out of no matter what you're in, because there is help out there. But it all starts with you. The minute you let the walls down around you and let people come and help you, that is when the rest of your life starts. But as long as you keep denying that you have a problem, and as long as you keep going into the closets and drinking and smoking marijuana and doing whatever drugs, that's as long as you're going to be in the predicament that you're in. So let the wall crumble around you and let people come and help, because we as humans all care about each other. We as a community, our lessons empower addiction recovery. Clearviews.info, clearreform.com. Because if you believe it in here, it will be clear out there. Folks, today was a good subject because it's very important that we pay attention to stressors and relapse during holidays. But it's equally important that we do it on a daily basis. Holidays just, I think, sometimes bring out people's feelings a little bit more and anxieties, and when they're around people that are drinking and doing drugs and you already have a problem, that might get you into a situation you don't want to be. But it should be a daily action plan to fight your addiction. Simple action plan. Don't make anything that you know might not work. And if you have tried my method and you don't like it, go to AA. And if you've tried AA, go to me. If you don't like any method like that because you don't feel that you're being supervised, then you need to go to the treatment centers. Call them. See them. Go on Google and look them up. Text me or call me, 844-405-HELP, and I will try to help you get wherever you need to go. That's what we're here for. Reach out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, www.startingpointmn.com. He can help you to go from addiction to recovery. He'll let his bridge down for you and you can walk across it. He will set a structured program for you, a structured life for you to go through with fighting your addiction. He will teach you how to recover daily. He will teach you the pointers to look out for. On the other side of his business, he can also help you become an addiction recovery coach. Just bring your passion, personality, and professionalism. And if you have an addiction background, whether it being for yourself or a loved one, bring that. Call him 844-414-8444. Let him help you. That's Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point. Get in contact with me, 844-405-HELP, or text me 631-599-0218. Go to my website, www.clearviews.info or www.clearreform.com. On Facebook, we have an open group now for you to join at Clear Reform. I also have 2 pages, that's clearviews.info and Clear Reform. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Google, Dig, Yahoo, and many other places. Blogger, websites. Get in touch with me because, folks, I can't find you. You need to find me. And when you do find me, I promise you this. As long as you want me to, I will go step by step with you during your recovery. I will show you what has helped me, and I will also show you what to stay away from. But it's together, all of us, as a community, that will empower addiction recovery. Because it is our community's lessons. It is the celebrities' lessons. It's the rock stars' lessons. It's the sports figures' lessons. It's my lessons. It's community lessons empower addiction recovery. Let us all come together and, folks, include your higher power no matter what you do in life, whether it's addiction or not. Recovery. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do in life, include your higher power. And if you believe it here, it will be clear out there, folks. Take a look at that video that I started this video with. The power of prayer. It is so powerful, you'll be amazed. And I'm not saying drop to your knees and pray daily. If you want to, that's great. What I'm saying is that if you believe in a higher power and you believe that there are angels and you believe that prayer works, do it. You'll be amazed by the power and the results you get from your prayer. Folks, I hope everybody has a great weekend here in the Hamptons, Long Island. It's pretty, overcast. Looks like it might rain. But it doesn't matter because no matter how bad the outside is, if you have sunshine in your home and in your heart, that is what counts. And be a role model in your home. With the sunshine in your home and you being a positive role model, you will get nothing but positive results. That I promise you. Folks, have a great weekend, and remember, a sober today guarantees to make a better tomorrow, and have a sober weekend, and God bless you.